React is all about components, little reusable pieces of your app. But as your project gets bigger, some components start doing too much. They fetch data, manage state, render UI, handle clicks, show loaders, all in one place. That can get messy, hard to test, and tough to update later. That's where component patterns come in. Component patterns are just smart ways of organizing your components. They help you split logic and UI, improve reusability, and make your code easier to read and maintain. One of the most commonly used patterns is the Container and Presentational Components pattern. And that's what we're learning today. A presentational component is all about the visuals. It's focused only on how things look. It receives data and event handlers as props and simply displays them. It doesn't manage state. It doesn't fetch data. It just presents. A container component is in charge of how things work. It handles state, data fetching, and logic. Then it passes everything down to the presentational component. Let's jump into some real code. Open your React project. Inside the src folder, create a new folder called Components. Now create two files inside it, userlist.js, userlistcontainer.js. First, let's write the presentational component. Import React from React. Function userlist, users, on user click, return div h2 userlist h2 users.map user key user.id on click on user click user name if. Export default user list. Nice and simple. This component just shows the user list. It doesn't care where the data came from or what to do when someone clicks. It just renders. Now let's write the container component. Userlistcontainer.js. JSX import React. Use state useEffect from React. Import userlist from mot/userlist. Function userlist container. Const users set users equals use state. useEffect. Const fetch users equals async. Const response equals await fetch htfat. JSON placeholder.typico.com/users. Const data equals await response.json. Set users data. Fetch users. Const handle user click equals alert you clicked on user.name. Return userlist users on user click equals handle user click. Export default userlist container. This component handles all the work. It fetches data, stores it in state, and defines what happens when you click a user. Then it passes all that into the userlist component. Perfect separation of logic and presentation. Now let's plug it into our app. Open app.js and add this. JSX import React from React. Import userlist container from /components userlist container. Function app. Return div h1 welcome to code with me userlist container /div. Export default app. Save your files. Now go to your browser and open h/localhost 3000. You'll see a list of users from the API. Click on any name and you'll see a pop-up with their name. That's it. Split your components smartly. Keep logic and UI separate. And as always, this is Code with Me. See you in the next one.